Hi, Emil. How are you?
Hi, Naimul. I'm good. Happy to be here.
Amazing to have you with us, to have Effectify with us. But before we talk about Effectify, we'd like to know about you. So tell us about yourself, your background. Let's start there.
Absolutely. So we've known each other for 1 or 2 years now, I think. We got to know each other through Foundry Institute. And when we got to know each other, I was working in consulting. So classic strategy consulting, but with focus on innovation. So specifically helping corporates work together with startups and scale ups, buy them, partner with them, etc. And prior to that, I was doing other kinds of consulting, a short stint within human capital consulting, like a pseudo combination of psychology and management consulting. So we did human capital due diligence when companies acquired other companies. We looked through the management team, etc. Very interesting. And prior to that, also a startup myself that we called Recollect within sustainability. So tech and logistics. This was almost 10 years ago now. Had a stint within fintech. So worked a lot with the MasterCard Lighthouse program, which was then a corporate or is a corporate innovation program connecting MasterCard and the big Nordic banks with great fintech companies. Now also moving to Turkey and other regions. Yeah, I think that covers it.
Very interesting and a very diverse background in so many different places, all from consulting to fintech to startups, corporate, like really great. What brought you to Effectify? What was the trigger?
Sure. Yeah. So to your point, my background is quite diverse. I studied finance. I thought I was going to be an investment banker because I liked the suits, right? But then I realized it wasn't really for me. So then it became different kinds of areas, psychology, strategy, still with the finance aspect. So I wanted something that's very broad, where I can piece all that together. And then this Effectify opportunity arose where I was to do M&A in a startup that's working with marketing, that's combining consultancy based agency businesses with tech. And all of that together felt like it fit perfectly for my profile.
Okay, amazing, amazing. So tell us a little bit about Effectify, and let's take it in a classic format when because you and I have been in ecosystem in some of the pitch evaluation sessions and all. So if we go on a classic startup route, we typically ask startups to tell us about the problem or the vision or the opportunity space they're in. So if you wear this Effectify hat, how would you describe that? Or what are you trying to solve?
Absolutely. All right, problem. Well, it's within marketing, and marketing is complex. Ever since we got digital marketing, which is now the majority of ad spend, right? Has been for a long time. It's gotten even more complex because you need to be able to manage all these digital channels. And some people are really good at that, some people are not. And specifically, we see small companies and medium sized companies might not have the time, resources, or sometimes the competency to manage that in an effective way. Same thing with large enterprises. Some are great at this, huge, well funded marketing HQs that are great at marketing, but some really big enterprises is essentially an aggregation of a lot of local businesses where it's similar to a collection of small companies, right? So while you do your business, you know what you're doing well, there is a problem in the complexity of marketing and you feel like you can't do it yourself. So you find a marketing agency. That's great. And there are a ton of marketing agencies out there. With having a marketing agency as a vendor, there's an inherent information asymmetry. They know more marketing about marketing than you do. Of course, otherwise, you wouldn't hire them. There wouldn't be a need. But that also makes it really hard for you to see whether or not they're doing a good job. They might send you a PDF once a month and you have some traffic lights and they're all green except for one that's yellow because something needs to be a bit like this. They're telling you it's everything going great, but you're not seeing sales. So after a while, you question yourself, what are they doing for my money and what's the ROI of my investment? So you change vendor because you still need to be in the game. So that's transparency. That's another problem. And eventually this all translates to a loss of control. For one business, you don't have control of your marketing. If you're a huge enterprise with, different business units, different geographical units, that loss of control is squared. It's hard to keep count.
Very interesting. I actually come from marketing background. I'm more of a dinosaur, I would say, because I stopped focusing on marketing around 10 years ago because I moved to startups, funding, investing side. And that has been a great transform, how would you say, jump in my view of the world. But prior to that, I've worked very deep in marketing, both on the agency side, client side, research side, and I absolutely feel what you're saying. Because on one side you have a huge opportunity or driving engine for the business, but on the other side it's wobbly, it's complex. There are so many layers to it that if you are not a subject matter expert, but then even as an expert, you need to be execution focused. So it's very big black box here. And you're absolutely right in your third point as well, that you try to simplify it by a very simple agency relationship, and then you said that information asymmetry happens. So are you guys an agency? That's my question. Like, how are you same or different from what that exists in the market right now?
We can look at another business or another type of business to kind of compare ourselves to them. Think telemedicine.
Telemedicine, okay.
Telemedicine, right? Telemedicine is essentially a patient getting in touch with a doctor through a digital interface. The patient gets a lot more value because they have a great digital interface where they can do a lot of stuff that they couldn't do when they went to the doctor. The doctor, on the other hand, is also a lot more efficient because the interface that the doctor is working in is a lot easier for them to do. So a lot of admin, a lot of tedious, boring stuff is automated. We're essentially doing the same thing, where a company can get in touch with a marketing expert through a digital interface. The company, the client, gets so much more value because you have live update reporting on how you're doing within search engine optimization, performance, content, you name it. And the expert, just like the doctor in telemedicine, has a whole lot of an easier job because a lot of their work is automized and they can do it through a platform. So that's essentially, so that's a long answer to your question, but we say that we hybridize the marketing industry the same way as you hybridize, let's call it the healthcare industry in telemedicine.
That's an interesting term, hybridize. But there is a human on the other side. Is it so, or is it a bot on the other side, or is it a mixture?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Oh, okay.
So the product is built to be able to support full self-service from beginning to the end. From understanding your data, seeing it, getting recommendations on what to do in your marketing, create content, create versions of content, and cross-publish all channels. But when you need help, you push a button, and then Anna from Performance can talk to you within 15 minutes.
Okay. I think something a learning from the startup side always is that you need to be hugely focused on your problem and the customer segment. When you were describing the marketing side, you said that small and medium businesses have this problem, but so have these enterprises who are in multi-countries and all that. Where is your focus when it comes to this canvas or the business canvas? Where are you focused?
Which kind of segments you mean?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, we're not going after the Procter and Gambles.
Okay.
The really big enterprises who know their thing.
Okay.
Their strategic value and what they really can contribute with is brand building and marketing. They will never come to us, and that's not the point. We go to customers who have a marketing sophistication that is low to mid, and then mid-high, but not top tier, right? So low to mid-high. That's what we focus on. Then the size of the client doesn't really matter. We can do micro to enterprise. Micro, in a while, specifically now, small, medium, and enterprise, we can do them all. Because going back to what I talked about earlier, an enterprise can just be an aggregation of a lot of really small companies, where the sophistication levels might not be Procter & Gamble level, and they're not supposed to be, because you don't want to invest that kind of resources in a unit of that size. So in that sense, we're really, really agnostic in terms of size, but we focus on marketing competencies, if you may.
Well, that's very interesting that you define the market. I think that's a great way of putting it, like marketing sophistication as a scale. Um, but let's take marketing sophistication. Maybe this is too technical a question. So, what really is the pain point of the customer? Like, what is the main struggle when you go down and talk to these people? What are they really struggling with? Is it budget optimization or what?
It's taking a holistic view of your marketing, because
Okay.
it's so complex today. You need to look at the entire funnel, if you want to use those terms. You need to look at it all. If you're a small company, you don't have the scale to have people that are knowledgeable within all of these verticals, if you may. So you come to someone like us who have the scale, because there's many customers sharing the cost of having this broad amount of competencies on board, and you get access to whatever you need at that moment, where we at first give you a holistic strategy on your marketing aspects. So that's what you need. You know, holistic marketing approach, and you need also a human to talk to whenever that is needed.
Okay, amazing. So holistic marketing is one thing you talked about, and then you gave at a product level, you described this as, I think that was a very interesting analogy of telemedicine, like how this works, and then you're saying holistic marketing. I'm trying to understand like what's your business model? Like how do you make this work? Is it a visit based, like telemedicine works on a particular call base, for example, that you could actually have that? So just trying to understand how do you enable your business within the problem and the solution space?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. And that is something also that we try to iterate depending on the type of customer. But
Hmm.
essentially, we sell you at a fixed price a bundle of utilizing the software, where you also have access to experts when you need it. So marketing software that includes the experts.
Okay,
Like,
so how has it been like the journey of building this business? Like, is it up to the satisfaction of the founding team, the pace of the business? How have you grown over the last few months or years? How is it going?
well, this business has been built in a pretty interesting way, which is
Mm,
also a reason for why I was so attracted to it, right?
mm.
Um, the company was cash flow positive after just 9 months, which is quite impressive and quite not that common in this space, right? And that is because we have combined organic growth with M&A, where the company has acquired marketing agencies that have been cash flow positive all the time, right? And these marketing agencies, they have revenues, they have recurring retainers that they charge to their customers. And we've acquired these companies and rebrand them to Effektify. They became a part of our business. And then we made the customers, we help them use the platform, and the employees use the platform too. So the customers get a lot more value, and employees work a lot more efficiently, which means that the cash flow that is acquired gets more and more and more and more, because we are more efficient, and the customer gets more value at the same price. And this means that the company has been building in a steady pace for many, many years. And the past figures, I think, was about 120% annual growth. And a good chunk of that is M&A.
Very interesting because M&As are typically very late stage. Typically, not even startups at times, it's established companies. So it's very interesting to kind of learn that you as a very early business, which is still growing, you headed for the M&A strategy. What triggered that? Like, why? Why did you opt for that route?
Well, we saw that we had a product that was needed. Customers appreciated it, and if all the agencies out there had it, they would be more profitable, right? And then we also saw that we have an economy where there are a lot of agencies out there, and marketing is, always something that is cyclical. So it goes down a little bit, and now we're seeing an uptick again. And during times of less growth, there's an opportunity to acquire companies. Consolidation, that always happens. So we saw it as a way to really accelerate our growth, to also expand our competencies internally and our geographical reach. So our management team is based to a very high degree on people that we've gotten through our acquisitions.
Okay. And that's also something interesting, because I had a question here. Because one of the major issues with acquisitions is the cultural clash that can happen. So, and when you are yourself growing, like it's not a stagnant organization with a lot of resource to enjoy. You are actually in a growth phase where you're putting a lot what you are earning into the business itself. So the momentum is very high. So how does acquisition logic work at such high pace and still not lead to friction? How do you achieve that?
Very good question. So culture is a very important aspect, right?
Mm.
And when we do due diligence, we of course look at the financials, the legal due diligence, etc. But so far, the companies haven't been huge, so there isn't that much to do with financial diligence on. It can be done quite efficiently, especially as we know this type of business.
Mhm.
What we focus a lot on is the human capital due diligence, where I've been working with that before as well. So that is mostly the time is spent on that. Who are the leaders in this company? What do they want to do? What's their future outlook? And the people that's in the business, would they appreciate this?
Mhm.
And of course, it's before you close a deal, it's always a bet, right? You never know for sure, but that's always the deal in M&A. So this is one of the things we prioritize absolutely the most. And then it's quick action during integration. Be very clear about what you know, and also be very
Mhm.
clear about what you don't know and when you will know it. And a lot
Okay.
of frequent communication, and get people together, have fun, do fun things. Always works.
Very interesting. Again, because I so you seem to have a playbook at a very early stage M&A playbook, which is looking for clean, cash positive businesses, in getting them into the business before they are too mature with a lot of cultural issues. So at an early stage, the passion still is there in these businesses to kind of push the business forward. Um, Thinking a little bit about uh, how has the journey been? How many acquisitions have you had, and what's the plan going forward? If that is something you can share on an open platform.
Yeah, sure. So we have about 4 acquisitions done historically.
Okay.
We're about 50 people now, and we're going to do quite a lot more going forward.
Okay.
Yeah. So right
Okay.
now we're in Stockholm and Western Sweden and Central Sweden. So we
Hmm.
will expand geographically and then also look cross borders.
Okay. Amazing. Let's take a couple of questions. So I think Gab has a question here, which is more product focused. I don't know if you have an answer directly for that. Have you implemented AI agents? If so, do you customize task flow to customer need, or were you able to optimize to cover multitasks?
Very interesting question. So AI agents is super interesting. It's
Mhm.
what people are talking about right now. And essentially, it's just better software, right? That's usually what it is. Better software than they were previously. But I like the concept of AI agents because it goes into the aspect of taking accountability for outcome, taking accountability for results. Previously with SaaS, you get good software that help an expert do their job better, but the expert is accountable for the outcome, right? The customer itself is accountable for the outcome. Here with an AI agent, the provider of the AI agent, the actual AI agent, is accountable for what the AI agent brings to the table. And I like that because that's exactly what we're providing our customers when we hybridize the tech and our experts. We take accountability for the outcome. So in this, all the things that our experts are supposed to do, which is, build a relationship, being there for the customer, being the experts and provide strategy, the fun stuff, we're looking for ways always to get rid of administrative tasks. And first, it's robotics, automation, then it's AI. And now, of course, we're looking at AI agents as well to help our experts get rid of even more administrative tasks.
Amazing. Thank you. Gab, I hope you got answer to your question. Then we have a question from Anne Coppins. Hi, Anne. Great to see you here. Great to see that M&A strategy highlighted for startups. I got called crazy when I went looking for funding with this as a key part of strategy. Is there M&A focused on assets only or full business acquisition?
All right. If it's interesting to acquire assets only or full business acquisitions. Yeah. So just talking generally, there's pros and cons. It gets messy after a while if you have a lot of legal entities under your holding company, potentially. But if you do the asset acquisition, you might have to think about tax for the people selling. So that's a very non-concrete answers. In general, it's case by case.
All right. Thank you. And I hope you found your answer. Then we have a question from Rakesh. Let's see. I'm Rakesh from, hi Rakesh, thank you for the question. And Cortex Craft Innovation Labs, an IT services company with customers from Sweden, US, and India. It would be helpful if you can explain how Effektify runs with customer. Can you explain customer journey with IT services company as an example?
IT
So,
services.
yeah, Rakesh wants to understand the customer journey. Yeah.
Okay, customer journey. Different kinds of customers. We have the ones who we get when we do an acquisition. They're usually, used to a retainer basis kind of thing. And then we get them on board using the platform, right? And they're much more happier, and that continues. And then we have the customers that download the app, which is out now on App Store, on browser, desktop version, or iOS, Android, where you download the app and you integrate all your databases, Meta, Google, TikTok, LinkedIn, you name it. And instantaneously, you get an overview of all your digital presence for free. So you see where you're doing well, where you're not doing well. Then we slap on some ML and AI on that, and we give you automated insights. Like on a Friday afternoon, you might get a ping in your phone telling you, hey, Naimul, it's Friday afternoon. I'm sure you're having an after work, but we found an opportunity for you to sell for 30,000 euros this weekend. You need to invest 500 euros or 1,500 euros or 5,000 euros, 82% likelihood of success. Do you want to go? Yes, please. Boom. So you decided that you want to do it. You need to create your content. You do it from scratch with AI, or take last year's photographs, change the background, or you click a button to talk with one of our content specialists, right? You create the content, and then you cross-publish it with a click on Meta, Google, perhaps TikTok. You maybe do 2-3 alternatives each. You do the A/B testing, and then we see how it's going. And then last stage is talking to the CMO, your digital CMO, which is an AI avatar. Or if you want to speak to a human, you push that button instead. That's like the customer journey. Yeah.
Very interesting. You talked about an app. I'm trying to understand what kind of interface the customer gets. Is it a mobile app or is it a web app? Is there a difference between the two interfaces?
It's the same in the desktop app. It's just bigger, right? So it's the same.
Okay.
And then we also have an enterprise product, which is a lot more detailed, which our big enterprise customers use, which will be made available for SME customers as well.
All right. So let's take one more question. Our community can also write any more questions if you have. But I have one more question. Where are you guys headed? You said you're a team of like 50 people now, with 4 acquisitions already done. What's the plan going forward? Are you fundraising? Is it going to be a regional agency or a soft service as a software business, which is Nordic, European? So where are you headed?
So we have big plans, and the exact way forward is always under iteration, as it should be at this stage of businesses, right? We are actually changing the marketing industry, so we need to see how each geography is taking it in. So it's always like a tennis game. You have to be in the middle because you don't know where the ball's going to come, right? So always be flexible. But we're going to continue on an acquisition spree, and at the same time continue with the great organic growth that we're already having, with our really, really strong outbound sales team and the marketing team doing a fantastic job. Add that with acquisitions in Sweden and then abroad. logically, let's start with Northern Europe, right?
Okay. Okay. Any learnings on startup building? Because you have always you have worked in several different sectors before. You have worked with the Mastercard program itself. You've been in venture yourself. So, any key learnings with this experience added to your journey, like startup building? If we have startup founders here who are going to be listening to this talk over our YouTube, what are two or three things to keep in mind to build a really strong startup as
Yeah,
Effectify?
yeah. I mean, the conclusion is, in a way, which is not possible to do, but the conclusion is that it takes a lot and you need to be able to do everything.
Hmm.
But that's not possible, right? So it's super important to tailor up a team that complements each other.
Okay.
And this is, of course, what everyone says. And it's not just in competencies, it's also in personalities. What gives someone energy might take someone else's energy. Make sure you have someone that get energized by the core aspects you need to be able to do: fundraising, product building, team building, sales, etc. So it's not just intellectually I can learn this. It's actually emotionally. Make sure you have people that's excited about all the things you need to be able to do, so that you as a team can do everything with energy. That's the key thing.
So the energetic team uh, is the most important thing. How has your fundraising journey been? Is this a startup which you think will raise or require a lot of external capital, or is it something which can grow without external capital?
And this is the interesting aspect, because we're cash flow positive, right? All the
Mm.
surplus gets reinvested into the product and growth and M&A. So we're growing well on our own engine, which is fantastic. And we've issued some equity and debt from time to time. We can also do debt because we are cash flow neutral, right? And that is a very nice position to be in, because we can
Okay.
mix the different kind of funding alternatives. But of course, we want to accelerate. Always, we want to do it quickly. So we'll see if we find the right investors that want to be a part of us, and we want to be a part of them. Maybe magic can happen.
Awesome, awesome. Emil, thank you so much for a very interesting talk. We've learned a lot about how the marketing industry is evolving and how this particular venture, Effectify, has been shaped up. Quite unique approach you guys have had. So we wish you all the best in your journey going forward.
Thank you, Naimul. Pleasure
Thank you
to
so much. Have a great day.
you
Take
too.
care.
Bye.
Bye bye.